Hello everyone, I decided to make this video where I will be showcasing the small micro and tech that I've noticed from the matches in playoffs from this weekend. If people enjoy this, I will make part 2. You can squeeze in between the iron bars and the wall in the desert blacksmith, but Hex messes it up here and probably actually lost time to it. In this clip, Infim is doing triple route, and right there you can see he dropped half of his gold when he's entering his second triple in the middle. And the point of that, I think, is just to overlap trade as much as he can with mining and like setting up this route. Um, but what I also realized that it makes it so much better that he just stays here and overlaps picking up these trades with waiting for the rest of his trades when he comes back from the third triple. And he just organizes his inventory because he doesn't need to pre-craft anything because it's a temple seed and he has an iron axe. But I think usually you would spend time pre-crafting a bed and iron axe here. And as you can see, he's able to just leave as soon as he can after picking up the trades. He just loses the chest and leaves right after instead of overlapping, losing the chest with waiting for your trades. One neat thing I've noticed in him do is when he misplaces this block right here, which makes it so Silverfish can get up to him, he, instead of mining it, he places these two blocks instead, so Silverfish can't get to him. And I thought it was kind of cool, because I would see people punch the gravel instead, but it's just faster to place those blocks. In this clip, Mangi is overlapping eating a gapple while going through the portal, and because he finishes eating first gapple before he goes through, he holds right click for a little longer, which ends up making him eat a second gapple through the portal animation on accident. Here, beefsalad was trying to use the chunk border attack to identify which side of the treasure they are on, which ends up not being that useful because they can just see the rampart, but still a pretty useful info that people should use. If Seth falls into a cage on accident while going for zero cycle and uses a boat to get out of the cage, which is a really good backup. Another thing you could do is use a pearl to clip through the bars, but when you're using a boat, you gain 4 blocks of height, which will make it easier to get to the zero cycle setup. This is a cool portal built by Jay, which makes it so you don't need to mine any blocks to build the portal. The only downside of it is that you can't do both portal animation overlap, which if you don't do anyways, you should probably use this portal. What I've noticed CDCR do here is, as soon as TNT is about to explode, he presses F5 and looks down to see where the locks exactly are gonna drop, so he can pick them up as soon as possible. I've noticed Infim do that as well, but Infim used to always just look up instead of using F5, which I prefer using F5 a lot more. This is just some really clean hit hitters by ADCR that I've never seen anybody else do. He also places the block on the left right there to prevent the pigs from getting stuck. This I just thought was kind of funny how even in this screwed out situation where DCR has no spring, he still tries to do 45 straves to save a little bit of time. This was kind of an interesting way of restocking your hotbar. I think DCR just knows that he has another full stack of Sosan in his hotbar, so he drops the one that he has in his hotbar and pick blocks it. I think this whole endgame by Edisar was extremely well played, except for this first part where he's unlanding his blind pearl hang, which makes him land one block away from the ledge, and he's overlapping crafting his blaze powder during this, which I really don't like because like his pearl could have just landed away from the ledge and he could have just fall down and do fall damage. So I think he should have just been ready to block clutch or boat clutch instead of overlapping these pearl crafts. But other than that, this is like extremely well played. Um, Here he boat clutches. His pearl lands away from the fortress where he wants because so the skeleton shoots him. He pros the second time without any hesitation, and he times it perfectly, so it damage cancels. He only takes damage from one pearl, and while waiting for that, he overlapped crafting his eyes, and then here he boat clutches. I assume to just save a little bit of health just to play safer, um, instead of just pearling to the fourth leg. And then he drag clicks the bridge. He places the boat on top of the soul sand, and it insta breaks because it's soul sand is lower than the lava, and so the lava breaks the boat. He speed bridges with the soul speed, which is, I don't know. I feel like this whole end game is just showed me that Elisa was really handling his nerfs really well during this match. This is an interesting play by Osa that I don't see a lot of people do. Basically, he plays Shreds in the open part of the fort and knows that the spawner is buried. So he plans early, first of all, to hunger reset, and then second of all, when he comes back, he can set up the Pro Hang towards the second portal, which will save him time, not having to go back out of the buried part of the fort. This clip, it's kind of hard to understand what actually is the time save, but on the replay, you can see how when Dougal jumps in a 3 block space, he does the 3 block head hitter, which, as far as I understand, is when you jump in a 3 block space with the block above you, you land 2 ticks faster because the block prevents you from going further. So you end up being on the block 2 ticks faster, so you can start the staircase 2 ticks faster. In the lower bridge, Dougal here makes a staircase to let all of these pigs up, which I've seen, I think, a couple of other runners do, but I like this part where he places those 3 extra sandstone, which makes it so they can't get up right now. And then on the replay back, you can see that he breaks the one sandstone to let the pigs up. I think the idea behind this is that so the pigs only come up after you're done and they don't mess with you at the chalice. Cool route that Dougal does here is he starts building the DK bridge, but he jumps up in F5 and sees the left rampart is a single, so he pivots into building a CS bridge instead, and it works out pretty well. Here, this pro flank by Dougal I think makes no sense, since he will have to run back to the left rampart anyways because he doesn't have all his traits. But what this Prohang does is, since he went down to 2 RD, when he crosses this chunk border into this rampart, all of his pigs are unloaded right now and are not trading. As you can see, the distance between the rampart is 4 chunks. So when you do that Prohang, if you want to keep your pigs trading, you should go down to 4 RD. On Bird Treasure Seas, I've noticed that Dougal does Heart of the Sea looting, which people used to do back in the day, but instead of clicking left click twice, his mouse double clicks, which makes him loot a lot faster. When doing triple to gap and stables, there's this little time save that I learned from Glazemind, is you can overlap crafting gold blocks into gold while waiting for the pigs to see your distraction. In this clip, Dougal loses a solid 6 seconds because the piglin is blocking him off from looting the chest, but what I think he should have done instead is mine to the right side into the basalt, which lets him just reach the chest easily. A lot of people were confused as to why on the last seed Dougal didn't go for the Sug and instead just did CS. I talked to him a little bit about it, and basically his idea is that since all of his picks are already on the left side of the bridge, and they're within the aggro from CS route anyways, doing Sug actually doesn't do much because both CS and Sug only get lowstone picks if they path like in a specific way. And the point of Sug is it gives you a cleaner movement when there's a hog, and it also makes sure that you aggro all the pigs that are near the chalice. But since he didn't have any pigs on that side of the bridge, and they're all like clustered at the back of the bridge, doing CS is just completely fine here. Again, as I said, if people find these videos useful and informative, I'll do more of this in the future, so let me know.